So imagine two households. We will say the one house is the West and the other house is Africa. Now, a household in the West is fairly designed in a way that actually emulates what society is. There is hierarchy, mom and dad, who then run and basically dictate how the system works, and the kids then subscribe to mom and dad as the elders or those who govern them, right? And within that system, how you eat is also governed by a plate, which is very individualistic, and a knife and fork, which is ascribed to the idea of being civilized and being good, right? And this is how this child is then raised. And the world, when they go into it, when they go into corporate South Africa, when they go into the church, is fairly similar to what they were raised with at home. And now you go to House Africa, which is House B. And in House Africa, we eat with our hands. When you speak to elders, you look down. You don't look elders straight in the eye. When elders arrive in a space, all the kids have to leave the space to make room for the elders. So there's a number of dynamics that happen in that space, right? So I've highlighted two households, and these two households are a reflection of the people who live with them, in them, and it makes sense to them. Now, these two kids, when they go out into the world, what are the things that the world then says to the African child? You can't eat with your hands. You cannot speak to an adult and not look at them in the face. And one of the things that is known specifically in boys' schools or in private schools is that when you shake someone's hand, you must shake it hard and look at them straight in the eye, right? This is in conflict with an African household, because one, a child does not shake hands with their elders because it suggests equals. A child does not look at an adult in the eye. So when you look at that, you can realize that as early as childhood, both the kids in House A, which is the West, and House B, which is Africa, have been taught how to behave, how to think, and how to see the world. And when they begin to interact later on in society, they interact with these principles as their core defining factors, because this is what has been imprinted in their minds. And this is why the mind is such an integral part of the Black consciousness movement, is that it begins to say, let us unlearn what we've been taught about ourselves. And if we begin to see that a Black person is a human being first and foremost, and a white person is a human being first and foremost, then neither one of us can be inferior or superior.